In this video, we'll be hunting 2 boxes of pennies. We'll be looking for any wheat pennies from 1958 or older. We'll also be looking for any proofs, foreigns, heirs or varieties, or anything else we can find. And we'll also be pulling aside any copper pennies and putting them in this jar, so we'll see how full the jar gets by the end of the video. And we do have one ender in both of these boxes, and it's actually going to be in the first roll of the hunt of the first box, and it's a wheat cent right there. So let's start the hunt with that ender, and I'll bring you in when we have our first find. Just open the first roll with that wheat cent ender, and we are going to have another find in the roll. It's going to be a Canadian foreign back there. And the wheat cent ender is going to be a 1957 Denver, and then the Canadian is going to be a 1995. Just opened roll 5, and I see the edge of the second wheat cent of the hunt, and it is right here. And this one is a 1941 out of Philly. Just opened roll 10, and we're going to have the second foreign of the box, and like the other one, it's going to be a Canadian cent, and it is a 1987. Next roll, roll 11, and we have wheat cent number 3 of the hunt. It's obverse facing, and it is a 1952 from San Francisco. Roll 14, somehow missed it by the edge, but we have the third foreign with the box. It's another Canadian cent, this time from 1989. Roll 18, and we have Canadian cent number 4, and it was one away from being an ender at the back of the roll, and it is another 1995. Roll 27, and we finally have wheat cent number 4 of the box, and it's an obverse facing 1945 Denver. Roll 30, just uncovered wheat cent number 5, and it's from the pre-40s. It's a 1937 out of Philly. Any wheat cent from before 1940 is hard to find. Even though it's a common year, 1937, that's still an awesome find. Next roll, roll 31, and we're going to have the 5th Canadian cent of the box, and it is right here. And this one is a 1975. Once again, next roll, roll 32. Hopefully the box is heating up. I see the back of our 6th wheat cent right here. And this one is a 1952 Denver. Roll 38, and I just see the edge of Canadian cent number 6 of the box right here. And it is another 1975. Just opened roll 41, and I see the edges of 2 Canadian cents, and one of them looks old. Get the not old looking one first. And this one is a 1974, and this is the one that looks a little older. And it's a young head, which means it's going to be 1964 or older, and it's from 1957. Usually when you find those, they're in the 60s, but one from the 50s is a great find. Glad to add 2 more Canadians. Roll 46, and we have another Canadian cent. Didn't see the edge because it's a little bit corroded, but it is another Canadian, and this one is a 1981. Just open the next roll, and I see another wheat cent. This is going to be wheat cent number 7 for the box, and it is a 1953 Denver. That was all for the first box. It was a relatively slow box, but not too bad. We ended up with 9 Canadians and 7 wheat cents, including one from 1937. Now let's go on to box number 2. Roll 13, and we finally have the first find of box number 2. I will say this box has had more copper than the first box at least. And the first find is going to be a wheat cent right here. Hopefully this box can heat up later. And this wheat cent is a 1942 Philly. Next roll, and we have the first foreign of box 2, and it's going to be a Canadian light normal right here, and it is a 1987. Same roll, and hopefully this is a good sign because in 2 rolls we have all the finds for box 2, and we have another wheat cent right here, second wheat cent of the box, and it is a 1946 from Denver. Just opened roll 20, and I see the edge of yet another Canadian cent right here. And this one is a 1980. Roll 22, and we have another Canadian cent. This one is right here, and it is a 1984. Just opened roll 25, halfway point of the box, and I see the edge of another wheat cent right here. And this one's in pretty good shape, probably going to be in the 50s. It's It's a 1952 Denver. Nice to get a wheat cent in that good a shape. Roll 27, just uncovered, yet another wheat cent. This one's also from the 50s, and it is 1951 Denver. Just opened roll 32, and I see the edge of yet another Canadian cent right here. And this one's from 1994. Next roll 33, and we have another wheat cent. This one is a 1945 out of Philly. Just opened roll 36, and we're going to have another Canadian cent. I see the edge right in the back of the roll, and this one's from 1978. Roll 39, we have yet another Canadian cent. It's one of those interesting edge ones right here, and this one's from, I believe that's 1993. Roll 44, and we have yet another Canadian cent. This box has been pretty slow for wheats overall, but has been doing pretty good on the foreigns. This Canadian is from 1968. Last roll of the hunt is going to give us one last find. Just opened the roll, and I see the edge of yet another Canadian cent right here. This one is a 1977. Both boxes have been hunted, so let's go over the finds. We ended up with 9 1959s, 28 estimates, including this super nice 1969S, and 22 2009s. Foreigns, we got 17. All of them were Canadian, including one 1957 Younghead. And I got 4 1960D small dates, which is definitely more than normal. Wheat cents, we unfortunately only got 12, which is definitely below average. We did get one pre-40s, a 1937 out of Philly. And then for copper, we ended up almost filling the copper jar. First box had a lot less copper than the second, so even though the second box was pretty slow, at least it had a good amount of copper. And overall, this was a pretty good penny hunt.